Hello and welcome back to another episode of Kid in the Sweet Shop in the rain, but this is an exclusive. This is a very exciting episode. I have come down to the incredible Lanzante facility where we're going to get a tour with Dean Lanzante himself. Before we get soaked, let's go inside because there are some serious cars. Wow, look. Hello, Dean. How
Jody,
are you?
lovely to see you. How are you?
Wow, lovely to see you too.
Welcome.
Honestly, it's the last place that I would think a sleepy little town in Hampshire that you drive by and I was like, wow. I mean, why here?
I've always been in this area, to be honest, and it is quite convenient. You know, we're close to Goodwood and Brands Hatch and not even that far to Silverstone and places. So so it kind of works. It kind of works.
Amazing. I mean, what a front show. I mean, look at these cars. Oh my God. Okay, I mean, we obviously know it's...
Yeah, I wish they were all mine, but they're not. The F1 GTR that competed in 95 and 96 season. It's won the World Championship in 95.
Wow.
And came fourth overall at Le Mans in 96. So,
did it come fourth?
Yeah, this as a car is you know, there's F1s and there's F1s, and this has obviously achieved quite a lot in its day to do 2 seasons of racing as well, and now road converted, and the client uses it on.
I can't believe it's road. I mean, that's just blows my mind.
Well, this is kind of how all the road conversion stuff that we'll see later in the workshop, you know, started off was doing F1s. But this gets used. The client uses it on tours and stuff, and occasionally on track use. So they're happy to kind of leave it here, and you just look after them as well. So some live here, and then when a client needs a car, he'll say, "I need it at this event," and we'll man that. Others, they're just here for service work or maintenance or race prep. And then they live at the client's house.
Right.
So it varies on different scenarios.
And then do you have cars here that you're working on to make road legal and race? And
we'll see that. Okay. We'll see that. And then Hakkinen Championship winner. This is second World Championship he won with this.
Amazing.
I love this era of car.
The best.
Very clean.
Yeah.
Adrian Newey car as well. Yeah. So obviously he's still going and still breaking records with designing cars, but this was the second championship winner that he designed at McLaren.
And wonderful, wonderful sound as well.
Yeah, fantastic. A great era of motorsport, this. It was...
It was competitive.
Yeah, it really was. It was sort of that era with, obviously they were fighting Schumacher and Alonso, all that sort of era. It was a good time.
Yeah,
it was. And like you say, they sounded brilliant as well. Yeah. But looks tiny compared to today's cars.
It does, it does. And with all the barge boards and everything, I mean, they're just so complicated. This was kind of like
very clean.
Which I love. And then going on,
Yeah, so F1, obviously the car that followed on from the short tail F1, the long tail F1 from 97. Golf livery as well.
The best.
And these are the real tight title battle with Mercedes in 97.
Right.
And
this was at Le Mans?
This, not this car, but a sister car to this, which McLaren actually owned, came second overall at Le Mans in 97.
Amazing.
In this livery still.
Yes.
This again is road converted. You can see slight ride height increase on it.
God, I can't. Can you imagine seeing that driving?
I know, they're insane on the road. They are insane.
I can't get my head around that this is, and does it, I mean, when we go into the, you don't call it factory, into the workshop.
Yeah.
Will you kind of talk me through a little bit more of
what
you have to do?
We've got a couple more of these in build at the moment. And it's funny, you look at it, it looks huge compared to the short tail. The wheelbase is the same. So when you actually drive it, the feel of it, it's just, the overhang is just huge.
It's unbelievable. I think they're prettier, to be honest. I do. I know it's very.
You prefer this look?
I do.
That is a controversial one.
I know.
Okay, that is.
I know. God, it's going to kill me.
They have become more loved in more recent years. And as a car on track, it is far quicker than a short tail. Yeah. Like a lot quicker. In race spec on slicks, they're 4 seconds a lap.
Why is that? Because there's no difference in the engine.
It's lighter.
Yeah.
It's nearly 100 kilos lighter than a short tail, which is hard to believe when it looks so much bigger.
Yeah.
And the aero.
Yeah,
but the horsepower is pretty similar. It's got a sequential gearbox as well, so the others are just a regular H pattern, as this is a sequential.
Yeah.
So on track, it was a big step.
Yes. I'd love to take that round the track. Oh, good. Oh.
And what, the engine from one of these?
Yes.
It
should be kind of glowing and pulsing.
This is one of the things that was a huge contributing factor to the F1 doing so well. It's such a reliable engine.
It really is.
Normally aspirators are quite simple in that way, but it was huge amounts of torque and power band, so it was really user friendly for drivers. Yeah. It was real key part of the success of the F1 was the engine as well.
Insane. Very special bit of kit. Right, come on, take me through. Okay. I'm so excited.
Here we have our spec room, where on certainly the newer cars, people choose everything from colours, materials, what sort of trim, stitching, anodised switchgear, etc. Not done so much, well, it's not done at all with the historic stuff.
Yes.
The historics, this is picked a race, as in the spec for Le Mans, and you do it warts and all for how it ran there.
Right, up we go. This is it's really beautiful. How long have you had the building?
So this has been together for coming up to 4 years. Yeah. The workshop longer. This is
within the.
Yeah, I mean, you would have noticed the Senna helmet as we came in.
I did.
But this is actually my most prized crash helmet. It's Sebastian Vettel's from.
Which one?
He actually finished on the podium at Hungary with this, but got the result taken away because
I remember that.
So,
look at that! Look, and it's amazing to see how many fly splats.
Yeah, he was behind Ocon for the entire race, so it's really pretty weathered up. And
it's brilliant.
I've been a huge Sebastian Vettel fan, and to finally get a race-used helmet of his was a big deal.
It's amazing.
All the race suits here, these are all from different F1 GTRs. Obviously, F1s are a big thing.
Yes.
So Ray Bell actually won more races in an F1 than anybody else, 9 wins.
Unbelievable.
And amongst all the drivers' suits here, these are actually my overalls, not from driving, but as a mechanic at Le Mans. So the year we won Le Mans, and I did the refueling, these were my overalls, and signed by the 3 winners.
By the winners.
So I did manage to keep hold of those after the race.
Special, yeah. I was about to say, I don't think they'll fit me.
Yeah, I mean, ankle swingers they'll be, that's for sure. It's been stuff that I've collected for, decades, and then to finally have a space to have it all and people to see it all, it's nice.
Exactly, let's go, we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
We'll go through to the workshop. Okay, and come through to our workshop where all of this stuff gets created and...
Oh my God, look at this place! Let's start with the...
We're F1 road cars.
Yeah. Cars.
These for servicing and maintenance, fuel tanks. Both of these get used a lot. Actually, these are 2 of the highest mileage cars, both at 46,000 miles.
46?
Yeah.
I love it. I really love to see these. I mean, what are the prices on the tens of millions, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you can't get an F1 for under $20 million now. The ones that get used a lot are actually pretty trouble-free.
So you are an official McLaren
service centre.
Service centre, okay, brilliant.
Yeah, so we specialise on that side of things. We specialise in Ultimate Series. Yeah. So mainly F1, P1, Senna, Speedtail. Historics have always been a core part of this business, and will always remain to be honest.
Right.
This was tested this week, and for members meeting, for the Goodwood members meeting.
Oh my God, it's just perfection. So this is for members, which is in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
And this has got quite a good history. It was an Alan Mann car, and it was originally driven by Jackie Stewart and Graham Hill. Yeah, so 2 average drivers together.
What? Can I just touch the seat? Have you changed the seat?
Yeah, we have changed the seat.
Steering wheel then. That is incredible. And so after kind of starting with the historics and doing the more racing side, when did the progression to making the race cars into, I'm just going to leave it like that.
But from this, it went to GT racing. So we were running a Porsche GT2 in 95 and 96 season.
Yeah.
But in 95, we didn't get an entry for Le Mans with the Porsche. And that's how we got to run the McLaren as a one-off. And that, from there on, that was the involvement with McLaren. And then in 97, an owner of a short tail car said, I don't know what to do with this. And we said, well, why don't we put it on the road?
Let's get it road.
And he drove that to Le Mans a year after he raced it at Le Mans.
Unbelievable.
Which now it probably doesn't seem as big a deal. At the time, it was insane. No one was doing that.
I mean, it would just stop people on the road.
And it really gave the F1 GTR like another purpose. There were lots of people who loved the car, but not everybody who's a collector wants to race a car or use it on track.
Yeah.
But to be able to use it on road and experience it really did help. So then we did more and more of those, which were obviously far more modern for us at the time. And then that sort of bled into doing P1 GTR, which was sort of 6-7 years ago, putting those on the road. And
can we just touch back on that one time that you looked after the F1 for Le Mans, because you did something pretty special, didn't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a really last-minute thing that my father, who ran the team at the time, was asked to run this car.
Yeah.
And I was a mechanic at the time there, and yeah, it was a small team as well. Few helpers from McLaren, but not many, and us, and we sort of roll up there and
first time.
Yeah, it was because other teams that had run the F1, they'd run it for several races prior to Le Mans. They knew their way around this car. So for us, it was a real learning experience.
Kind of like eyes open, going.
But I mean, the race is history itself and what happened. But yeah, it was a fantastic thing to do, and it really has been a real pivotal point of what this business achieved, and also it's funny, the fruition of that result didn't necessarily happen straight away. It's more happened later in time.
So
as McLaren's grown and it has a wider audience. At the time, there was just F1 as a road car and Formula One as in racing, and that was kind of it. As now, of course, McLaren's known as such a huge brand for all its other activities, IndyCar, plus obviously its automotive side. So it's been more recognised now almost, it seems.
Starting point. Right, back to the cars. I'm really interested in the process of a race car and getting it road legal, and what the normal kind of things that you have to do. Do you have to change, obviously, the gas tank? You have to change, I mean, you're the
they're different between each one. So this is an F1 long tail.
Yeah.
Similar to what we have in the showroom complete, 2 in different phases here.
Yeah.
This is pretty back to bare tub. This is having a repaint, so it's got a body fit in primer at the moment. And that's the other thing, is when they're road converted, people do want another level of finish. You know, when it's a race car, it's a tool to do a job, and if it's got a crack in the paintwork, people aren't too bothered. But when it's a road car, they want everything perfect on it. And then there's simple things that you wouldn't, regard as something to consider for a road. Is things like radiator fans. All of a sudden, a race car, the race car never suffers. radiator fans, screen washers, horn. So there's the basic things, handbrake.
You have to strip it down to this level.
Yeah, so this also,
those little changes.
Each type of car has a different challenge.
Yeah.
Something like this this is a very analog car.
Yeah.
So the suspension is all passive suspension. So to raise a ride height on this is a spring and a rocker. It's quite straightforward compared to something like a P1 with active suspension.
Yes.
So they all have their individual challenges. This is a different steering rack for more turning radius.
Yeah, of course, because they're.
Yeah, this is tight.
Yeah.
And then plastics have to be certified. Normally it's just a normal perspex, so things like that. Plastics, glass, a lot of things that are nothing to do with performance, and you'd think are really mundane, but there are a lot of those are the items that you do have to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, F1 being a sort of analog car is
the kind of the more simplistic ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so these two are now going to be, and how long would the process take from bringing a car off the track to get
It's
it on the
a
road?
good question. If it's in good order when we get it, it will take about 8 months to do the work.
Okay.
A lot of the time a car will come and will need a restoration, and then all the suspension crack tested and all the other things as well, and then obviously that adds time to it. You'd be unlucky if anything takes longer than a year, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's short.
Attention span is something that most customers have a
Yeah.
short one of.
Want it
Yeah,
now.
exactly. It's always the
Okay.
way. So it's important to try and get things delivered.
What on earth are you doing?
Yeah,
What
I
is
sometimes question this myself. This was a customer who I was actually working late. He rang at 9 o'clock in the evening, rang himself. A lot of these customers, they're
busy people,
and they have people who represent them or take care of their collections. And he asked about whether we'd do this. He has about 5 Paganis anyway.
Okay.
And he said, would we do this? And a first off car does take longer. This will be more like an 18-month project, because the first one, this has had to have bespoke rear lights made for it, gear ratios changed, the reverse gear strengthened because it's a race gearbox, and again it's lights. This just has main beam lights normally, and we've had to put indicators, side markers. The mirrors are electric as opposed to a much smaller race mirror. Certified glass, dashboard has changed, wiring loom, certified fuel tank, lift system. And then the other thing with this has a lot of sharp edges normally, and these, these have all been replaced with larger radius edges.
Yeah.
So all the dive planes, the wing end plates, even the tabs that hold the windscreens have had to have radiuses put on them.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
It's a lot of little bits that you have to go through.
So nothing structural. Everything structural is okay, because I know that they're quite. You can't have there's like a baby's head. You've got to have a certain diameter.
Yeah, the 100 mil diameter hole. Yeah, so
baby's head size.
Exactly. So that you do know your stuff, and all this is good. Yeah, that is a big thing. Is that you have this sphere, and anything it touches has to have. Externally, it's 2.5 millimeter radius.
Right.
Internally, in some areas, it's 5 millimeter radius.
Right. So this was all fine. So nothing structurally. It was just.
It's just body finish and edges.
Yeah.
Internally, obviously, handbrake as well. This will have an intercom system because it's rather noisy.
I mean, where is this? Is this English? Is this going to be seen on British roads?
This will be registered. It will first be done in the UK, but its actual home will not be. It will be in Europe.
Damn it. God, I'd love to see this going up and
Yeah,
down
it's
King's
crazy.
Road. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's like an Arctic.
I mean, the cars are getting huge as well. I mean, this is an enormous thing.
I mean, that is just.
So we'll run this at Goodwood Festival of Speed this year.
Really?
This will run up the hill. Yeah.
Oh my God, I will be there for that. It is insane.
So this, being the first one, has taken a little longer, but.
And Horatio, all the team, absolutely fine, or are they a bit like?
Again, that's a good point. I don't actually road convert a car if there's an objection.
Okay.
So I won't go against a manufacturer.
Brilliant.
So the first thing this client, I said to him is, how well do you know Pagani because you don't upset them and do something against their will.
Yeah, because you'll never get a car again.
And it was all okayed, and a lot of the components, things like the mirrors, are off of a regular Zonda, so we actually source as many original parts as you can. And you want it to be that way. You don't want a road conversion to look like it's been done aftermarket. It should almost be like when someone comes up to it, this is how it came out of the factory. And sometimes that's harder to justify my bill, but because people go, what have you done to this thing?
Yeah, exactly.
But actually, that's the way it needs to be. And that's part of it, and then that's why having an involvement with the factory and having their blessing on it, it does help.
And it's important for your, your career and everything that's happening.
Don't upset too many people.
Don't upset. Okay, so where we go? I mean, I've got. Okay.
This is quite new to us. This was obviously launched in 2018.
Yeah.
An anniversary car 77 built.
Yeah.
Porsche 935 and a track car.
Alloys and tyres.
So this is being road converted as well.
This is done.
No, not yet. This is just arrived.
Just arrived.
So literally, you're seeing this as we're about to start. So
God, how exciting!
Yeah, it's so again, a lot of the owners of these have done the track programs or used them on track.
Yeah.
They do it for a couple of years, and then it's like, okay, now what do I do with this?
I get it. I still want to drive it. I love it, but I don't want to do so many track days. I haven't got time.
So, and this is based off of a GT2 RS anyway, so this shouldn't be too difficult.
Can you have something this wide, or do you really have?
That's all okay. It's as long as it's got correct radiuses. Obviously, the biggest trick on this is putting some headlights in it that look sympathetic.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, so that's going to be how you maintain its look, this is obviously a key part of its look, but still. Right. And the client for this is actually going to get quite involved. He actually wants to be part of this design, which is nice. Yeah, it's really good. We expect this to be about a year project. We're looking to get this done this time next year.
Be brilliant. How exciting. Okay, come on. Oh, look at that interior.
Well, this is our real.
Wow.
As a company, this has probably been one of our most exciting projects.
This is amazing.
Looks like a stock 930.
Yeah.
But with a Formula 1 engine in it.
What? You what?
So.
Are you joking?
Well, this is actually based on an original car. So McLaren have the original one. So in the early to mid 80s, they ran with the Porsche 1.5 litre tag Formula 1 engine, and there was a prototype car, a 930 with that engine in. And I asked McLaren if I could purchase some of the leftover engines from them and do a short run of these cars based off of that original. So it's not my own invention. Yeah, it's based off of an original car. The coolest thing is all the engines have race history. So each client has a certificate from McLaren to say which races each engine that is in the back of their car has done. So historically it's quite a cool thing to own. It's very understated in its look, and that's because it is as the original car is. The original car had a sunroof, Fuchs wheels, were replaced with the roof wheels. So these items are done really to try and retain it as close to the original.
Tag turbo.
So it's sort of shoehorned in there.
1985 Niki Lauda, so did not finish. This is amazing, unbelievable. I love it. Yeah,
it's actually a fantastic car to use as well. It's completely usable, which is kind of weird. I mean, in the day when these raced, needed teams of people to get them started. They ran on like rocket fuel at the time. As now, Cosworth did a development program with the engine so that it could run on regular fuel, be usable, not have lag, and all of those things.
And it's just a usual
turnkey car.
Turnkey.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
I mean, the power is reduced from what it was in Formula 1. In Formula 1, it was 900 horsepower out of 1.5 litres. Now it's 500 for this.
That's still amazing.
But when you think 500 horsepower in a car, it weighs 1,000 kilos, just over 1,020 kilos. You know, a GT3 is 1,400 kilos with 500 horsepower. So when you weigh it up like that, it's crazy.
I won't ask the price, don't worry.
They're not too bad. They're not too. I think it's all very reasonable. Well, I would say that, but.
Wow. Okay, so now we get down to.
So this is various P1 projects. So we've road converted so far 36 P1 GTRs.
Really?
So they built 58. So 36, large percentage. Gone all over the world.
I can't believe you've done over half.
Yeah, it's been quite a big take up on that. And then there's various special projects we've done from that. One of the key ones was when we broke the record at Nürburgring with the P1 LM. Yes. We had Kenny Brack drive for us. I think everyone knows what he's capable of.
Yes.
And then from that, other people, we sold the 5 P1 LMs, and then other people have come to us and sort of said, look, I love the P1, I've got an idea for it. So the Spider this wasn't something I came up with. A client rang us and asked whether we'd do this.
Really?
And he said, would you do this? So this is very much in prototype phase. We're experimenting with hinges at the moment. And he rang and said,
hinges in the
well, this has got a single hinge. A regular P1 has a hinge up here as well that I've now removed with the roof. So we've now got to figure how it gets supported off of a single pivot as opposed to 2.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay.
And then obviously safety within the chassis and structural stiffness, that all has to be, there's quite a lot of work in that.
A lot.
So even though the car looks, you know, not like a massive change over an original, it is quite a lot of work.
No, because it's renowned that they always get, compromised when you take the roof out, and so there's it's not easy.
But this, we were super lucky. We got the original designer who designed the coupe to actually design the Spider for us. Oh. So it was again, it's always this thing about not looking like it's an afterthought or being an aftermarket part on the car. So to try and tie in the relevant people so that it looks as if this was intended almost.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible that you can, have a very exclusive, expensive car that you love and adore, and you kind of get a bit fed up with it, but you don't want to let go of it. I mean, and you can just bring it here and
have a second life.
Make a new car.
Yeah. I
mean, it's just amazing.
So we've got from P1 Spider, 2 other variants. We've got a P1 HDK. An HDK is, they did this for F1. It was a standard road car that had GTR looking bodywork. So it's for people who want the comfort of the road car, sat nav, air conditioning, heating, luggage space, but want the visuals of a GTR. And then this one here, we're only doing 4 of this version, is a GT. Again, based off of the sort of F1 styling of the long tail. So they did 4 paint schemes for the F1 long tail that were road legal. So we've done the same with P1. This is a little rawer inside. You can see the difference of the wing pylons that are flowing back. And then we've got the engine for this.
I know, it's just like, hello.
Yeah, so a lot going on with these modern engines compared to the F1 engine that we saw in the showroom.
Exactly.
Obviously, twin turbocharged, hybrid power, and then the gearbox is a double clutch gearbox. Actually has a 3rd clutch as well for the electric drive.
The gearboxes.
And they're huge. I mean, they have to take a lot of power. Yeah, it's 1,050 Newton meters of torque. So the capacity of this has been changed from 3.8 to 4 litre as well.
3.8 to 4. Wow. So you really just everything.
People want everything they can extract out of one of these.
Are you going? Do you understand what that entails?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny, when we did a 4 litre, the next question was when will you do a 4.2? It's like, it's the natural thing. But
I mean, I love engines. Engines are just.
I mean, newer engines aren't as attractive as old ones. If you look at an old Ferrari 250 engine or something, they're beautiful. I mean, this is a tool to do a job. I mean, it's even got plastic covers. You sort of think, is this?
Yeah. But I just find them just incredible. I mean,
but they're more like a satellite than an engine. There's sort of lots of bits going on.
Yeah, but I just what that power it creates is mind blowing. The electricity, it's just
a lot of moving parts.
I love it.
We can go up and see some of the other engines that.
Oh yeah.
That from everything from tag to F1. Okay, and here we're up to where our engine shop is.
Nuts and bolts and all the bits.
So various projects. We got an F1 engine here. This is actually from the one.
Oh, look at that.
So the car that's downstairs in primer. This is the engine from this.
Just simplicity, gorgeousness.
Yeah, lot more simple than the P1 engine.
Beautiful.
And then these are some of the leftovers of the tag engines.
Look at that.
So these are in various stages of build, lining up for the next remaining cars.
Wow. 3
now
left.
this is tiny. I mean,
I know.
So small.
Beautiful.
The packaging on this is really nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, yeah, just totally different. I see what you mean. These are like literally works of art.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
not
are.
that they're not, but
yeah, I think there's far more. It's all about function and cost and everything. As
I mean, it's just fantastic.
I mean, I think these built the rebuilds from Cosworth. You can buy about 5 P1 engines for the same amount. Really? Yeah, these were
How many did you have at one time?
15 in total was the most. Yeah.
God.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm relieved we're at this
brilliant.
stage.
3 left. Wow,
3 left for the regular
special.
ones. So yeah, we're getting closer towards the end of these. The lightweight version car, the engines of those are at Cosworth at the moment. So
I love it. So that is in the.
It is indeed, yeah.
Are you going to take me out for a drive in that?
Well, you can have a drive in it.
I can drive it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. You can see what it's like.
Really?
See whether I'm bluffing.
Okay, but guys, we're going to have to show you that in another episode because you're going to be here for hours otherwise. But I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Honestly, I'm quite speechless. What an amazing setup.
It's been great having you here.
Thank you so much. And I'll get ready for the next episode where I'm driving.
Out on the road.
I'm driving the Tag Turbo.